My girlfriend said, "You're too calm." I said, "You're too loud." She rolled her eyes so hard I thought they'd get stuck. It started as a small argument about where to eat. She wanted spicy Korean BBQ. I wanted sushi. She sighed dramatically, saying, "You never fight for anything. You're like a yoga instructor on sedatives." I laughed, which made it worse. She said I didn't care enough. I told her, "I just don't think food should require a war strategy." That didn't help either. She slammed the car door, muttering something about emotional constipation, which I didn't even know was a real thing. At dinner, she kept testing me, spilling soy sauce by accident, teasing the waiter, raising her voice when I didn't react. I just smiled and kept eating. When the waiter came to check on us, she whispered loudly, "Don't worry, he's not ignoring me. That's just his default mode." The poor guy froze. I tipped him extra. By dessert, she was scrolling through her phone, and I figured she was done. Then she said, "How can you be so calm when I'm clearly mad?" I said, "Because one of us needs to keep the fire extinguisher ready." That made her laugh for 2 seconds. Then she caught herself and glared again. Later that night, while watching TV, she decided to teach me passion. She started mimicking my calm voice, saying things like, "Oh no, the house is on fire. Let me make tea." I said, "If the house were on fire, I'd at least bring marshmallows." That one broke her. She laughed so hard she nearly choked. Then she admitted she wasn't really mad. She said she just wanted to see if I'd ever lose it. I told her, "If you want me to lose it, you'll have to replace the Wi-Fi with dial-up." A week later, I came home to find the apartment lit like a crime scene. Candles everywhere, loud music blasting, and her standing there in a red dress with fake smoke from an incense stick. "Still calm now?" she shouted over the music. I just blinked, turned off the speaker, and said, "Okay, that's enough passion for today, Hollywood." She groaned, "You're impossible," and stormed into the bedroom. I followed her quietly, sat beside her, and said, "You like me calm because someone has to hold the umbrella while you make thunder." She looked at me for a long time, then smiled, really smiled. "You're right," she said. "You're calm because you choose peace, not because you don't feel things." I nodded. "Exactly. Also, you're loud because you make life interesting." She laughed, leaning her head on my shoulder. We sat there in silence, her heartbeat still a drum next to my steady rhythm. Sometimes I think we balance each other perfectly, like thunder and rain, chaos and calm. And as much as she teases me, she always ends up falling asleep first, right there, safe in the quiet she once said she couldn't stand. A few days later, we went to her friend's engagement party. The whole place was chaos. Kids running around, people shouting over loud music, and her best friend crying because someone spilled wine on her dress. My girlfriend was in her element, fixing everyone's problems and dancing like she was auditioning for a music video. I stood near the snack table, quietly eating chips. Every few minutes, she'd glance at me to see if I was still alive. At one point, she dragged me to the dance floor yelling, "You're too calm to live." I said, "I'm calm so you can live twice as loud." Everyone laughed, even her dramatic best friend. Later that night, she told me she doesn't need me to match her energy, just to steady it when it spins out of control. Now she calls me her anchor, which sounds romantic until she uses it during arguments like, "You're my anchor, but sometimes I need you to let me drift." Still, every time she storms out, she comes back to my quiet side of the bed, whispering, "I don't know how you stay so calm." I tell her, "Because loving you is already my daily adrenaline rush." That usually ends the fight. She laughs, hits me with a pillow, and I just smile, because honestly, she's my favorite storm.